What's going on, my MMA Boxing Addicts family? Before we get into talking about our absolutely fantastic weekend in the world of combat sports, my friends, let's go ahead and give a round of applause to the 46-year-old Manny the Pac-Man Pacquiao, my friends. Come on, dude. I mean, goddamn. 46 years old. The fight ends up a majority draw, my friends. One judge gives it to Mario Barrios. The other two have it a majority draw.
In favor of Mario Barrios. Judges at ringside, Steve Weisfeld and Tim Cheatham both score the bout 114 to 114. The decision is a majority draw. And of course, in that case, the champion retains his title.
He goes in there against the WBC welterweight champion of the world at 147 pounds after 4 years of not fighting. And dude puts on one of the best performances that we've seen him in a long time, my people. He looked absolutely fantastic. He wasn't stuck in the mud like he was against Ugas. You guys, I thought he brutalized Mario Barrios. I thought he was landing combinations. Don't get me wrong. I thought Barrios had his, times in the fights. I thought he won a few rounds here now and then. But especially the last three, I think that's where Mario Barrios might have, swayed the decision, the judge's decision towards them, my friends, and making a majority draw, because Manny Pacquiao was winning that fight, and I'm calling it right now. It's a complete robbery that they made that a draw, and it's bull crap. He's 46 years old, man. He's accomplishing great things. Boxing is only 8-time A-division world champion, my friends. Having come from the 107-pound division all the way up to 154 when he fought against Antonio Margarito. You guys, it's bullcrap, because instead of talking about now a rematch with Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios, I know Manny Pacquiao might want to get that fight back. We should have been talking about a future match with Manny Pacquiao and Brian Norman Jr. I mean, dude, a future match. What about Manny Pacquiao and what's his name? Teofimo Lopez. What if Teofimo Lopez wants to go to 247 and take on Pacquiao, my friends? Dude. What about Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. if Errol Spence Jr. wants to come back and compete at 147? That was a fight that was supposed to happen back in the days. Errol Spence pulled out of the fight. Then Ugas came in and stepped in and beat Pacquiao in his last fight of his career before he just came out and retired, my friends. Absolutely fantastic performance from the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao. I just wanted to start out by saying that, dude. Hey, it was a fantastic show. You had Mario Barrios coming out with the Mexican OT, which is a goddamn big deal, you guys. If you ain't familiar with rap music, the Mexican OT is a Texas rapper who hit the stage. He got into the Joe Rogan podcast. He became this superstar. He came out with Mario Barrios yesterday. Absolutely fantastic. You had Manny Pacquiao coming in, with his different song this time, but then Eye of the Tiger comes on, as he starts to enter the ring. I got the hype. I got the excitement off of that. It was a fantastic fight. You had before that Sebastian Fundora making Tszyu quit in round 7, going to round 8, my friends. You guys, it was a crazy goddamn good fight that lived up to the hype, just like the first fight, man. Sebastian Fundora comes in there in round 1 and drops Tszyu. And automatically I'm looking around, looking at my family like, oh, I knew Sebastian Fundora was going to go in here and beat the crap out of Tszyu. I mean, Tszyu ain't that good, bro. He has a bunch of knockouts on his record, don't get me wrong, but he ain't that good. Sebastian Fundora went in there in the first couple rounds using his pressure and his big arms, his big solid body. You could tell the goddamn difference when they were right there next to each other. He was just too big of a man for Tszyu. You guys, just non-stop punches, throwing that jab out there every goddamn second was Sebastian Fundora, my friends. But that last round, in round 7, in round 6, you seen Tszyu finally start to have some success. He started landing those big goddamn left hooks, right hooks on Sebastian Fundora, my friends. And you started thinking, oh shit, it's starting to become a fight. This is becoming a fight. But You got the goddamn ref who goes to the corner who has to check on your boy Tszyu, my friends. And as he goes to check on him, Tszyu says he's done. He quits on the stool. My guys, in what was his best round, in round 7, he quits. The guys doesn't even come up to fight in round 8. I think, yeah, it was his best round, but it was a goddamn war. He was getting hit with big punches as he was giving big punches back to Sebastian Fundora. And Sebastian Fundora beat the will out of Tszyu, my friends, in an absolutely fantastic co-main event card, dude. Hey, it lived up to the hype, my friends. What about Alexander Usyk knocking out Daniel Dubois in round 5 in the world of freaking boxing, my people?
True against AJ. Will they turn into a nightmare here at Wembley? Big right hand from Usyk. Oh! And he's gone. He's out. Daniel Dubois. He's never gonna.
Dude, I'm telling you guys right now, Usyk is the greatest, the GOAT of our era when it comes to heavyweight boxing and even cruiserweight boxing, my friends. As you guys know, he just became a 3-time undisputed world champion, having did it in the cruiserweight division, having did it once in 2024 and when he beat Tyson Fury, having got all the bouts, the WBO, the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, right? Then he ended up facing Tyson Fury again for the rematch. He was supposed to fight Daniel Dubois, who was the mandatory challenger for his IBF bout, but decided to do that rematch. Therefore, he was forced to vacate that IBF bout, and that's when Daniel Dubois was elevated to your IBF heavyweight champion fight, my friends. Wow, yesterday, Usyk goes in there and kills him in round 5. Man, we posted the goddamn video. It went viral, dude. Stand up if you're from Ukraine, my people, because I'm telling you guys right now, of our era, Alexander Usyk, having beat Daniel Dubois twice, having beat Anthony Joshua twice, having beat Tyson Fury twice. He is the goddamn greatest heavyweight boxer of my era, my people. My era. Keep that in mind. I'm 27 years old, you guys. Absolutely ridiculous weekend when it comes to boxing. You had Jesse Bam Rodriguez go in there and fucking make the corner of Cafu in round 10 stop the goddamn fight. Jesse Bam Rodriguez was beating the hell out of Cafu. He now unifies the WBO and the WBC junior bantamweight champions of the world, my friends. Now, as you guys seen, and we made a clip of it on how cool Turki Al-Sheikh was for doing this, for having set up the fight with Fernando Martinez in another unifier, which is going to be, for now, the WBO, WBC, and the WBA bouts, my friends, which is going to be on the David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney, which we don't know anymore because, Brian Norman Jr. and they don't want to take that extra drug test, my friend. You know what's going on with that. Devin Haney wants some 365 drug testing going on, and Brian Norman Jr., hey, egos are getting in the way. Contracts and people are making different rules. And what's on the contracts now? It's starting to get in jeopardy, my people. But Bam Rodriguez went in there, absolutely brutalizes Cafu, and I cannot wait for this goddamn match now that is going to be taking place in November, dude. You got 3 titles that are going to be on the line now, which, I mean, come on, dude. Either one of these fighters could win that IBF bout, so basically, this is basically for undisputed, my people. I cannot wait, and what a goddamn performance again from Jesse Rodriguez, man. Hey, this guy's absolutely phenomenal when it comes to the world of boxing, dude. We had ourselves a fantastic week of boxing, and I mean, not just that. I also want to talk about UFC. What about Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway in the goddamn last fight of his goddamn career? Louisiana stand up. You had Lil Wayne come out with your boy Dustin Poirier and walk out with him, my friends. He was there in the crowd cheering him on. You got Lil Wayne strapping the Max Holloway, the BMF champ, right after the fight ended. And it was a fantastic fight, a back and forth war. You had Max Holloway coming out, dropping Dustin Poirier in the first round. But that way, guys, Dustin Poirier gets up, it gets dropped again, but then ends up coming back and dropping Max Holloway, you guys. It was a fantastic fight. I had a 2-2. Going into the 5th A close one. I thought Dustin Poirier could have won this fight if he won the last round. Don't get me wrong. Could have been 3-1. But you guys, still, I thought it was a great performance from both fighters. Dustin Poirier didn't get knocked out. I think there was a couple of times where the ref could have stopped it if he wanted to, but he didn't. And I'm just glad to see that Dustin Poirier was on his feet, be able to give his last little speech, his last interview before his retirement, my friends. Man, like I said, dude, Dustin Poirier and Korean Zombie back, what was it, UFC Fuel 2v3, back in 2012 was the first UFC fight that I have ever seen that got me captivated into watching UFC. I know he didn't win that fight with Korean Zombie, but it was a goddamn war. That was back in 2012. Keep that in mind. We're in 2025 now. That was 13 years ago. You guys. Dustin Poirier is a goddamn legend. And I'm telling you guys right now, something tells me that this is not the last time that we are going to be seeing Dustin Poirier. The White House card, I don't know, but something tells me we might be seeing him come back. If not, it was a hell of a ride. Goddamn Dustin Poirier, man, I love you and I love what you did for the goddamn UFC. And it's honestly a loss that you ain't here no more because you put on an exciting show every single time you fought. But it's still great to see Max Holloway get the win. He's over here calling Paddy the Batty out, my friends. He's over here calling out Charles Oliveira, my friend, saying he has beef. Listen to this.
No, man, that they're not even talking about. There's Oliveira. We got a history. Oh. He told me he was saying that he wanted to fight me this year, so we see what happens.
Is that a call out?
I mean, not a call out. He was calling me out, at the end of the day. He's calling that first fight a fluke, an injury. Last time I checked, they did a report on his so-called injury. Didn't have nothing. So at the end of the day, if you want to figure that out, we can find it out.
Hey, man, I'm telling you guys right now, those two fights, Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira, or Max Holloway and Paddy the Batty, is a ridiculous fight, man. I'm telling you guys right now, if that happens, dude, it's going to be breaking news, my people. It's going to be breaking news, man. But UFC 318 as a whole was absolutely exciting. You had, the first 5 fights, all finishes. Then the rest of them were all decisions, my people. But these were fantastic fights. What a goddamn great card that we got from New Orleans, man. Hey, Dustin Poirier, dude, I'm telling you guys right now, absolute legend. I had fun this weekend. Everything turned out to be great, other than the Manny Pacquiao robbery, where I thought instead of a majority draw, it should have been a Manny Pacquiao win. You had Usyk going in there and showing the world that he is the GOAT in the heavyweight division of our era, my friends. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, a fantastic fight. Sebastian Fundora, all right, the 154-pound king, my friends, who's holding it down. Literally the tallest champion in boxing, my friends. He's taller than all the light heavyweight champions. He's taller than all the heavyweight champions, my friends, you guys. Standing at 6'5.5", the towering inferno. Man, fantastic weekend, my people. I'm out.